Hello people. I should have probably not done that. Hello people. Today I'm here to talk about Valve, the amazing game company that supports developers. They support Linux, and I'm still going to be criticising them because, let's be real, I hate Valve just as much as Epic Games. No, but let's show off Steam OS 3 because I think Steam OS 3 is going to be absolutely great. So I've got it in a virtual machine. Let's open it. Oops, I'm still a bit new to this. Can you tell? Here we go. Steam OS 3. There we go. Nice. Yes. Reason why I got that error is because Steam OS is, well, absolute rubbish because Steam OS doesn't. Steam OS 3 barely seems to exist, so this is, first off, Valve, stop being absolutely confusing. But where do you find the good old Steam OS 3? Yes, searching up Steam OS 3 download, yeah. Yes, Steam OS will be available for everyone to download and install. That's some absolutely great news. Where's this going to be installed? Blah 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 blah. After February 2022, so February 2022, apparently. Okay. Oh, it's March. Well, okay. And when was this last updated? 13th November. Oh yeah. Of course, it's on the Valve website. This website looks a bit outdated with SteamOS. Yeah, I thought SteamOS is Arch based. I just confirm I've got on the Wikipedia website, wikipedia.org, just to check SteamOS. Here we go. That's a bit of a problem. Anyways. Maybe it's like a separate website or something. I don't know. Oh wow, that's cool. I do skim gambling stuff. Well, okay, no, it's more like they've got third-party websites allowing them to do gambling. Cool. Oh, in apparently February 2017, they began investigating Valve and 5 other publishers: Bandai, Capcom, Focus Home, Koch Media, I die. ZeniMax Media. I've literally only heard of Bandai, Namco and Capcom, so bit weird, but I mean, I definitely have heard of Valve. Use of geo-blocking through the Steam for prevent. That's very good information. Of course, you know, you shouldn't be able to access Steam in Antarctica. Why would you even be in Antarctica using a computer? I genuinely don't understand if people defend this, then man, defend some better nonsense, mate, because that's just absolute nonsense. Would be against the digital single market. Yeah. Yeah, sure. I definitely believe that if they weren't getting investigated. I mean, I guess they didn't do any discrimination since they won that. But yeah. But yeah. Oh no. Oh nice. So apparently, claimed consumers were not entitled for a refund for digitally downloaded games purchased from Valve for the Steam website or Steam client in any circumstances. Oh, that's a bit rubbish. Valve had excluded statutory guarantees and or royalties that would be of acceptable qualities, and Valve had restricted or modified statutory guarantees or warranties of good they actually had a refund policy for them. Good on them. See, I'm being a bit more balanced, but I'm here to mostly focus on the criticism. But yeah. Valve below engagement. None of that's really interesting anymore. Defense of the Ancients. Data was landmark mod first released in 2003 that created basis of the genre of multiplayer online. Arena was originally developed by Carl Sommer, goes Elias Eel within Blizzard's Entertainment's Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos sites. Vulgar turns spawned several similar efforts, notably Dota All-Stars. While there had been, first off, how is this related? While there had been several that contributed to Dota All-Stars, Project was managed primarily by Steve Ginsu Freak and later IceFrog. IceFrog was eventually hired by Valve in 2009 with the rights to data intellectual property being sold to Valve. That sounds a bit sus. It'd be bad if they turned that into a game or something like that. But yeah. It was also hired into Valve by 2010. Valve's then subsequent Valve trademark was a sequel to Dota entitled Dota 2. That sounds a bit sketchy, in my opinion. I can't remember where I went to up to about, yeah. A group of former contributors to the Dota Stars project found an opposing trademark to contest. Oh yikes! To contest Valve's claims they owned the property rights. So in other words, Valve just stole that. Dota All Stars LLC was eventually acquired by Blizzard. Development of Blizzard All Stars. Blizzard took over the trademarks for this. The United States patent and trademark of this initially ruled in Valve's favour. By this point, Riot Games had hired Ginsu, I'm saying that's how it's pronounced, to develop the MOBA League of Legends, as with IceFrog. Freak transferred his rights to data property to Riot, so in other words, no one knows who actually owns it at this point. Who in turn sold those to Blizzard. Blizzard filed a lawsuit against Valve to challenge Valve's ownership. So in other words, all three of them seem to just not be know who owns it. Putting the right scientific frog to insert odds case. Blizzard Entertainment vs Valve Corporation was settled up court in May 2012. Valve retained the right to use data commercially, so in other words, they can make money off of it, while Blizzard reserved the right for fans to use data non-commercially. Okay. Blizzard changed the names of its own projects to move data term, renamed Blizzard All Stars as Heroes of Storm. Valve's Dota 2 was released in 2013. So in other words, they got into massive trouble before they even made it a game. Well, released it, I mean. Fair enough, kind of, yeah. 24 in May, the developers Lilf and Yuko released the games Data Legends and Hero Charts respectively. Both were influenced by Dota and the sequels. In 2017, Valve and Blizzard, for God's sake, took a joint against these companies, signing copyright issues related to the Dota names. But the thing is, I mean, yes, Dota did kind of get owned by more of those companies. Still not very clear who won them, but yeah. Yuko answered that the collective works that should not be copyrighted by anyone in particular. Yes, I agree with that, because it's a bit confusing and a mess. Just abandoning the name at that point, I'd say, or just let it be wild. They had the rightful copyright claim to this. Separately, Lilf and Yuko argued that all had from post dating as four signed an open source copyright license to data, which would make Valve's and Blizzard's copyright claims void. This was later decided by later heard by jury, but it doesn't actually give an answer to what happened. But if that's true, then well done, Valve. You get -5 points. I will move on to Epic scene because it looks like I'm just going to be criticising. But yeah. Man, they like going against Blizzard, Activision Blizzard. In April 2009. So they're friends, but not really, it seems. April to I know Blizzard and Activision Blizzard are slightly different things, but they're pretty much the same thing. Valve sued Activision Blizzard, which acquired Sierra Entertainment after a merger with its parent companies Vivendi, Universal Games. Activision had allegedly refused to honor Valve vs Vivendi arbitration agreement. Activision had only paid Valve that number of the almost 2 million and the almost 2.4 million award, refusing to pay the remaining 400k, claiming they had overpaid that sum in the past years. Man, more Vivendi stuff. Is this really? Not gonna lie, I disagree with Valve with the majority of that, but yeah. Let's see, Epic Games. Will Epic Games have more controversies? Let's see. Well, criticisms. Oh, well, okay. Legal issues and Apple and Google disputes. But the criticisms, and I don't think there really was that many criticisms in that's the wrong one. Valve's. I think it was more legal disputes. Yeah. Doesn't actually look like have any criticisms technically, but plenty of legal disputes. But yeah. But yeah. SteamOS Epic Games. Okay. Getting a bit confusing. Um, um, should we do like the acquisitions a bit? So, Epic acquired Utah-based Chair Entertainment. Developer of Undertale, never heard of that. So 2009 saw the launch of Chair's Solar Complex. I think I've probably heard of that. Couldn't tell you what it is though. And then they just didn't bother about acquiring stuff for a while. And Valve hasn't really acquired anything. Epic announced in October 12th. Then he had acquired $1.25 billion from certain firms: KKR, Iconic Capitals, Mass Ventures, Axiomatic, Vulcan Capital, Kleiner Perkins, Lightspeed. Firm joins Tencent, Disney, and Endeavour as minority shareholders in Epic. I've heard a bunch of people criticise the fact that they have Tencent as shareholders. Like, they always go on about, oh yeah, but by the looks of it, they actually haven't really got that much if it's a small amount. Okay. Besides expanding sport for Fortnite, the Epic Game Stores, these investments allowed Epic to acquire additional firms. In January 2018, it was announced that Epic had acquired Cloud Green, a developer of cloud-based gaming software company, announced the acquisition of Cameo, and confirmed that offered anti-cheat software called Easy Anti-Cheat. I think that's quite well known. A year later, in January 2019, it is announced that Epic acquired Freelateral and Agog Labs. Freelateral is known for digital image creations using a combination of digital Steam. That's for later. What is it? Using a combination of digital technology, motion capture, and other tools to create photorealistic human subjects in real time. Epic plans to add some Freelateral's features to Unreal Engine. Agog had developed Script, platform for scripting events in video games. The announcement of this acquisition, Agog stated that they will stop development of Acume to work more on Unreal Engine scripting. So Epic acquired Psyonix, the developer of Rocket League, in 2019. Epic and Psyonix have had past histories, as Psyonix was originally founded a few miles from Epic's headquarters and contributed to Epic's Unreal Tournament. Epic acquired the Twinmotion visualization tool used in the architect tool design in May 2019 from a event, and which they plan to expand and incorporate into their Unreal Engine offerings. Epic acquired Life on Air, the developers behind House Party Social Networking Service, in June 2019. The monetary terms of the acquisition were not disclosed. But yeah, Epic shuttered House Party's app in October 2021. The team behind it was continuing to develop social apps for Epic's platform. So shuttered obviously it just means like shut down, right? Which is a bit So at least I've got something to criticise Epic for as well. Is there really anything more interesting? Oh yes, should I tell you that Valve's games are not available on Epic Games Store? I call that a bit anti-competitive. What do you think? And I mean, yes, what is it with Rocket League? I show you. I am kind of pretending to not know some stuff for effect, but yeah. Science transitioned Rocket League to free-to-play mode on September 23rd. Associated with blah 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 blah. Free-to-play version eliminated the need for players to have console subscriptions, network, or like PlayStation Plus or Nintendo Switch Online, which I find incredibly weird. I would have expected it to be the opposite way around. Just saying. Some changes were also made for the game's tournaments and challenge systems to help with monetization, because at the end of the day, it's quite hard having a game that is free but without monetization. Just saying. As part of this transition, the Windows version of the game was moved off of Steam into the Epic Game Store. Players that had already owned the Steam version prior were still able to change, update the game and play it with crossplay with other platforms, and would continue to receive updates. Imagine Valve doing that. Like, let's say Steam was only launched recently, and Epic Games was like the main store front before. I can't see that happening, considering I don't think Valve have ever published a game outside of Steam since its released in 2003, I believe. I confirm, yeah, 2003. I've been released slightly before, but yeah, but yeah, 2002 was the beta release, but yeah. So, is Epic a terrible company? In my opinion, not as much as Steam, but they are a bit with like Shinedown House Party by the sounds of it. I'm seeing that's what shuttered means in that context. I'm not an expert though. That's just a warning though. But yeah. Epic acquired the indie music platform Bandcamp in March 2022. That's recent, very recent. Bandcamp is an internet music company founded in 2008 by Allplay's co-founder Ethan Diamond and programmers John Grunberger, Joe Holt, and Neil Tucker, with headquarters in Oakland, California, US. Yeah. But yeah. In other words, Bandcamp are quite good for supporting stuff by the looks of it, and people are getting angry about them being bought out. But let's show you something good that Epic has done as well. Epic Games acquired ArtStation, a professional artist marketplace in April 2021 as part of the acquisition. ArtStation members would gain access to Epic stores and support such as Unreal Engine, while ArtStation Marketplace will reduce its take-home purchases from 30% to 12%. Imagine Valve doing that. In July 2021, Epic acquired Sketchfab and Marketplace for 3D models, as with ArtStation. This acquisition allowed Sketchfab to reduce the pricing structure alone of revenue cut on 12% and making their Sketchfab Plus level of membership free. Imagine Valve doing that for like cutting down their revenue share thingy and stuff. I don't see them doing that, to be honest. But what else should I criticise Epic Games for? Someone should probably keep track on like how many criticisms of each company. I will say I'm leaning towards Epic. But yeah. What else do I do? Oh yeah, so Epic announced its own Epic Games Store and open digital storefront for games on the 4th December 2018, which launched a few days later with the Games Award 2018 presentation. Differing from Valve's Steam's storefront, which takes 30% of revenue. Imagine Valve doing less in response. 30% revenue sharing agreement for the sale of game. Epic Store game will take 12% as foregoing 5% for games developed on Unreal Engine. That is a bit anti-competitive. That's what I'm gonna say. But anticipated that the lines will draw. Yeah. So I don't think it's too bad. I give more money to actual developers, unlike Valve with Steam. But yeah. He's starting to learn ton of weird. Oh, okay. Didn't they? Yeah, like Fortnite saved the world. Like Fortnite saves the world. But yeah. What else? Does Epic Games Store have criticisms? Oh, apparently it had 40% of ownership. I wouldn't describe that as small Wikipedia. But yeah. Let's see what criticisms. To compete against Steam, Epic Games has frequently arranged for time exclusive releases of games on the Epic Games stores before other storefronts, typically for either 6 months or a year. So it's the change dominant position. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, digital online gaming storefronts, it's a bit hard to be anti-competitive when you have Steam actually being dominating the marketplace. But so I'm going to criticise Valve for just sticking into the marketplace and refusing to even put the games on other storefronts. I think they should be forced to publish on Epic Games Store, and that's my opinion. So Um, but yeah, sweet. But like Valve, yeah, Epic. I think if Valve wasn't like as dominant as it is, I would be really more against Epic on this. But I'm gonna say, fair enough, Epic Game Store. Sweden stated their strategy was the only way to change Steam dominant position and stop seeking exclusivity should Valve reduce its 30% revenue share. Otherwise, Epic will continue to accept offers for exclusivity on Epic Game Store from any developers or publishers that are interested, regardless of what pro plans they had made with Steam or other storefronts. So in other words, good guy Epic, bad guy Valve. Is Valve is guy a gender neutral term? Up to you. I'm gonna say it is. Yeah. But also, at the same time, don't forget consoles do it as well. And I think that's more of a problem than Epic Game Store exclusives, you know? But yeah. Gumbling, yeah. Oh my god. That is ridiculous. That's not even Epic Games' fault. That's literally just. Man, that is horrible. That's not even necessarily a company's fault. Yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, it's this. Cumberland developer Sublitz announced that a game would be exclusive to EGS in like July 2019, so that Epic's funded support would help keep studios afloat and provide them with a better revenue split. In the announcement by Cumberland's Ben Wesson included what had felt been joking languages related to criticisms of Epic's game store exclusivities, calling those who complained immature, toxic gamers. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I still think the reaction was not necessary. That the situation was nothing to get worked up about. Yeah, especially considering Valve owns the gaming marketplace. In the wake of this, Wesson and others at Cumberland began to receive thousands of hostile negative messages related to announcements, including threats. That's not okay. The gaming community, Wesson not expected the community to react in the message that way and tried to clarify Cumberland's position of needing Epic support rather than in an attempt to spell on their gaming community. Swing late the game campaign against Ublitz represents a growing trend in the community based on coordinating and deliberate creation and promotion of false information, including fake screenshots, videos, and technical analysis. Fair enough. Accompanied by harassment of partners, promotions, or hateful themes. Haha, that's the problem with Valve's stuff. Using like. And Sweden said Epic explained partners to those in targeted as such matches. Ripon. Yeah, okay, that's a bit, but I still don't think it's a big issue. apparently a game store was found at significant loss and likely not be profitable. No, apparently it's had a problem with battery lifespans. That sounds correct, to be honest. Epic Games Store is a bit slow and bloated, but I mean, I can't really say much better about Valve. Valve's Steam, Steam's just as bloated, probably even more, to be honest. Because you've got, let's go and send load. Well, oh yeah, that's because I had full screen, so I don't care about my email. You saw that? A bit laggy there, I see. So it's got a web browser. Why does it need a web browser? That's in the... well, okay. As far as I'm aware, Steam's pretty much like a glorified web browser app. Well, the store bit's a glorified web browser, which is a bit so I wouldn't be surprised if that eats up system resources. Why would you want a web browser? But I mean, I'm pretty sure Epic Games is not too far off of a web browser, except from you don't actually have, you can't really access it, which makes it inherently more lightweight. So yeah. Broadcasting. Why would you want broadcasting? No one actually uses it. Like, yes, I get, like, you don't want to be Google and get rid of a bunch of stuff. But please don't just put it into your game store built in. It's just unnecessary. Just have it separate. Yes, no one's use it. It's a music app. Why? God knows. Why would you want this? Cloud. As far as I'm aware, Steam Cloud doesn't work with Epic Games Store. Anti-competitive. That's what I'm gonna say. When the program starts, library. By default, Epic Games does this too, by the way. It's a bit, we'll say anti-competitive. I wouldn't necessarily say anti-competitive since both do this, but by default it starts up, like both of them start at startup, which is a bit. I don't think it's a good idea, and I wouldn't actually necessarily say it's anti-competitive, but yeah. Yeah, like, why would you want this? The UI of Steam's alright. I think I do prefer it over Epic Games Store, so I'm now giving praise to Valve, but yeah. Also, don't forget, Epic Games do free games constantly. Valve, they just give you deals like this and still probably have a 30% cut. But yes, I'm the person here to criticise Valve and Epic Games. But yeah. What else? Discussions. Let's look at the discussions. got a bunch of stuff here. It's going to like Steam for Max if it's honey. Came out and still nothing love to it. Honey, they don't have a native Apple Silicon client. Well done, you're in the same group as Discord, because last time I checked, they still don't have a native Apple Silicon client. And also, bonus fact: Discord's based on an it's like a few Electron versions behind, which is basically a stripped down Chromium browser for like UI stuff, and using outdated web browsers has security vulnerabilities, and guess what? Discord has a bunch of security vulnerabilities. Massive security risk. You could just use it in a web browser. Fair enough if you say that. I agree. Yeah. Look, Apple Silicon problem. Apple Silicon problem. Oh my god, yeah, okay. That's funny. I've just noticed the fact that all of these are just like people complaining about that. That's fair enough. Fair enough. I'd be annoyed if there's no M1 support, and also 32-bit support doesn't really exist, and that means like a decent chunk of games cannot run on macOS Mojave or Catalina or above. Mojave's the last version that can run. Yeah, I believe. Suggestions, ideas, game was um 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 I'm gonna say neither of them win. That's the conclusion. Both are bad, but I would say okay, maybe saying that equals a bit misleading. I'd say Epic Games is slightly better. Slightly. Slightly. Okay, bye.